Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing Joy in the Morning, which is one of our new hymns from the online hymnal Sing Out Love. Lyrics are on the screen. We find joy. Morning.
He got tall. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Praise for this day. Praise for the paths that have carried us here. Praise for the hands that have made a way, for the hearts that have opened, for the gifts that have come home.
Praise for this hour when we choose to say, we see you. When we rejoice to say, we recognize you. When we dare to say, we call you here, we welcome you here, we bless you here.
Praise for this moment when we stand with you.
Praise for this threshold that opens to us.
Praise for the mystery that makes itself known in vision, in dream, in prayer, in grace.
In the love that has led us and called us by name.
In a world ravaged by violence, by hatred, by conflicts that seem eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is be still for a moment, to remind ourselves what is real.
The sun that rose this morning, the dirt under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs.
So this hour, may the light of our chalice flame remind us to try just to be present in each moment during this time as it unfolds.
Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy.
Good morning. Welcome to the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or ERUUF as we like to say. My name is Reverend Jacqueline Brett, and whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, your gender, identities, whomever you love, and wherever you are in your search for truth, for meaning, for liberation, know that you are welcome here in beloved community where children grow tall. That is a good thing, and you'll hear more about that in a few minutes. If you are visiting with us for the first or perhaps even the second time, I invite you to rise in body or spirit so that we might give you an ERUUF welcome. Welcome. Welcome, and thank you all for choosing to spend your Sunday morning with us and for bringing a little spring into our day. And for those of you who are visiting, if you have a child with you, they are welcome to join our children for religious exploration. Just follow the group out after the story. Also, on subsequent Sundays, if you choose to return, and we hope you will, there is a class that takes place called Inquiries for Visitors and Newcomers, and you get to learn a little bit about us, and you can also share something about yourselves as well, so we hope you'll join us for that. Now would be a great time to turn off or to worship mode any devices you might have. So, we have so much going on, right? This is a difficult time for our country, for the world. And I just want to take a moment just sit with gratitude that we get to be here together in this place, cultivating peace. Thank you. And actually, let's do what I did in the last service. Let's all take a deep breath together and give an exhale with a sigh. Yes, indeed. Let's do that again. And let it out. Yes. yes, yes. It is good to be here together. So we have a few announcements. Our Pulse survey is opening up and is available. Is it available now, the Pulse survey? Yes, the Pulse survey is available. Thank you, Michael. The Pulse survey is to take your pulse, the pulse of the congregation. It allows us to hear from you. It takes about 15 minutes to fill out, and it's invaluable to us as your ministers and to the staff to hear what you're thinking about and how you're feeling about your experience here in the congregation. It's anonymous, so you can be completely honest, and that's good. We actually really take it seriously and focus on things we can do differently or better as we are able to. So please fill out the Pulse survey. And if you're visiting or if you're a friend of the congregation, it's fine for you to fill it out too. We like to hear what you have to say as well. So please do fill that out. Michael Gilbert Singletary, our fabulous Director of Membership Development, yes. I was teaching at choirs, and Michael went to turn off the chalice. Michael had a rainbow chalice. I was like, how did you have, it was an electric chalice, and it had colors. I was like, you would, of course, have a rainbow chalice. It's like flickering all these different colors. But Michael has put out a request, and I don't know how many of you are aware of it. We'd like to know your pronouns. If you are a member here, if you would go into the database and just put in your pronouns. The reason we want to know them is so that we can have mutual regard for one another and make sure that we're not assuming anything about one another, that you can be called by the pronouns of your choosing, and that we will know what they are. It helps all of us to be in community with each other and have the respect for one another that we all deserve. So if you would go in, and you might say, well, my pronouns are just regular pronouns. Please put them in so that we know that, because we're not assuming they are. We want you to tell us what your pronouns are. And there's a special surprise for those of you who know who do it. So I will just say that. I won't say anything. I just want to mention that we are in a season of holidays. And for some of us here, they might not mean much, but others, they mean a great deal too. So we are in the season of Lent for people of the Christian tradition. We are in the season of Ramadan for our Muslim kin, and we are about to celebrate Purim for our Jewish siblings, which begins tomorrow. So I just wanted to make sure that we are acknowledging that all of this is going on in this community, in other communities, and as a pluralistic community, we want to just acknowledge that there's a lot more than just one set of beliefs or one way of being. And so with that, why don't we, am I supposed to say this? No, I don't say it in this service. No. Okay, all right. Someone said no. Okay, that was you. No, okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now. So Reverend Jim can come forward and read y'all a story.
I had to say no because I know that I'm next in this service. Welcome down our smallest, our mediumest, and our tallest folks. Oh my gosh, good to see you again, sir. This is a book with a very simple title. Can y'all tell me what the title of this book is? Give. It is very simple. It is one word, correct? What do you think people will do in this book? What do you think? Give someone something, yes. And so we got a couple themes going here. In RE right now, we're still catching up a little bit on resilience. That was y'all's theme last month. We're still having some resilience snow days that we're making up. But But also, for folks in worship today, the theme is generosity, because we are back at that time of the pledge drive. Oh, no. But it's a very important time of the year. I joke, but it is very important. But one thing with giving that feels very important to me is how what we give helps our whole community be better. And that can be money, but it can also be like the things that we can give that we're good at. So like, if somebody needed a story told, do you all think I could do that? Right. If somebody needed their gardened and they needed the plants to survive, could I do that? I actually can't. You may not know that, but you don't want me to give that, even if you need that. But I can give the things I can give, and you can give the things you can give, and then we have to kind of figure out, oh, is that what someone needs? Because somebody might need some gardening sometimes, and I might be able to help you find somebody who can do that. So anyway, this is a great book, just thinking about all the ways that we give that might help other people and also make our community a better place. So let's find the first page doesn't have any words on it, but what you see, a little gift in the back. You see the person up front with the ribbon in their hair? So it's a rainy day, and we'll go on to the next page. We see that package being carried splendiferously. Not a real word, but a fun one. Yeah, there's no words yet. You're correct. You were very observant. And then sometimes bad things happen. You see the bad thing is the ribbon going into the air. Yeah, the blue thing went away, the blue ribbon. And it looks like this person is pulling the ribbon off the package, and they give what they have. Give what you have. Very helpfully gets their hair tied back up, and they're headed on their way to school. And then sometimes we get cold. Maybe sometimes you have a spare scarf. Like, you don't need your scarf as much, but they might need it. You could give warmth. There's very few words in this book. Sometimes something breaks, like what? Like a pencil. And sometimes if you have a new pencil, you could give something new. Yeah? Yeah, the first few pages of this book would make you think maybe the whole book doesn't have words. That's true. So sometimes we forget and see somebody up here has forgotten their lunch. Give if you remember. Maybe you have an extra sandwich. You could help make sure somebody else ate. Sometimes we make a mess. Give a hand. We can help clean up. And if you notice, a lot of these pictures, the person giving something is the person that got something the page before that. Yeah, it's spreading around like a trend. Yes, I love it. Excellent. Sometimes we have less, and you see this person has less, probably oil pastels. And this person has more, so they can give more. And everybody's getting on the bus, going home from school, saying goodbye to each other, and we have one of our friends walking off to the side. Oh, we're not quite there yet on the screen. We might have to continue on the book for just a second, and the screen will catch up to us. There it is. So we're heading home from school. We've got one of our friends walking away, probably walking home. Sometimes we're lonely, like this dog, and we can give friendship. We can give friendship to that dog. You wanted the ball, yeah. Sometimes we feel hurt, and we can give comfort. Now, I would say this is a way a dog can give comfort. You as a human probably wants to find a different way to give comfort. But we as humans can definitely give comfort. No. Nope, not a good way for a human to give comfort. Right? Sometimes things are out of reach. And we can give help in getting those things. And then sometimes we are left out. We can give a piece of ourselves. We can hang out with somebody. We can spend time with somebody. The good you do comes back to you. We can think of that in like the big existential cosmic sense, but we can also see it in the community in the book, because everybody's giving back. Oh, there's a happy birthday. Yeah, lots of cupcakes too. And with that story, let us continue on to religious exploration, and I will see you there. And there's the dog, yes.
Peace, salam, shalom. 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 Please take a moment to turn and greet your neighbor, especially if your neighbor is someone you don't know.
Ladies first.
I'm Virginia Williams, and I have been a member of what's now called ERUUF since 1972. It's your turn.
And I'm Redford Williams, and I've also been a member since 1972.
And we got here first, we found that in the Yellow Pages that there was a UU fellowship. And initially, those of us there had to plan what happened Sunday morning, and those of us there had to take turns with the children.
I have memory that we had a volleyball court, and we would get together and play, families and groups would get together and play volleyball on the weekends, and that was lots of fun.
It really changed for me when we moved to have this physical property that was hours all week. Now it was a community. Now there was the beginning of a congregation.
The first minister we called was Ken Collier. And the problem was we only had enough money to pay him half-time. And after a year or two, we got to the point where our income was high enough so that we could call a full-time minister. Arvid Straube was called to be our minister. And he was our minister for 20 years. And it was under his leadership that we continued to grow. And we moved to Garrett Road.
And so we began to attract more people, and often they were people from away. Often they had come from a larger fellowship, and so they volunteered to take on tasks. What? You don't have someone who's in charge of the getting new members and making them feel integrated and at home. And one after another, there's this wonderful cross-fertilization of the people finding ways to make very significant contributions. And I think it's fair to say that we also sort of diversified our populations in very interesting and positive ways.
Yeah.
Why I keep coming, it's not even a question. It's just my spiritual, partially social, and intellectual home.
It's not always been a smooth ride.
Yes.
As a fellowship and a congregation. We've had our ups and downs and difficulties, and it's really been, I think, inspiring that we've managed to survive these difficult times and to deal with them in a constructive way and emerge better off than we were before it started.
And that, let's face it, I'm right now just a little old lady, who comes, and I want the next generations to decide where it goes, and the next generations to say what they do. You'll stand on my shoulders, but you're going to see further.
You're a wonderful little old lady.
And you're my wonderful little old man.
Looking forward, I think the major thing that we need to keep going with and to have ERUUF be a force in bringing forward is what the world needs now, is love, sweet love. That's the only thing there isn't plenty of. And how, as an organization and a congregation, can we not only bring love to action within our congregation, and how can we bring love, sweet love, out into our community?
Good morning, ERUUF. How are you doing? All right. My name is Mel Donnie Piper, and I'm proud to serve as your Pledge Drive co-chair this year. So let me tell you a little bit about how I got here today. Stay with me for a minute. So a while back, I started a new job at the American Heart Association. I was sitting in my office. I was looking out the window when all of a sudden I saw this life-size dancing heart outside of my window. I know I work for the Heart Association, so maybe that sounds normal, but it's not. And I realized that it was my colleague, and she was dressed in this just huge heart costume, and she came up to the window and had a sign and said, "Will you be our fundraising captain?" And I was a new hire. She was probably thinking, like, Mel has this gregarious personality. She's gonna run outside, give me a high five, and say, yes, I would love to. And instead, I burst into tears. And not from joy. And kind of said, but I was hired to do public health. I'm not a fundraising person. So fast forward about 7 years, and Reverend Jacqueline sends me a little message and says, you know what, can we just chat tonight? Just want to check in. And so you know what that means, some of you, and you start thinking through your mind, what committee am I going to be asked to join, right? What is the ask? And so I kept thinking it through, and when we met, she said, I'd like you to be our pledge co-chair. And I was like, laughed, because I was like, that was the last thing I saw coming. I did not think of that one. And so I said, I need a moment to take this in and decide. And I couldn't decide in that moment. And so I ran down the stairs, I talked to my wife, Sophie, and was like, I hate fundraising, that's the thing. But then I started coming up with all these ideas of how the pledge drive could be really great. And she said, you know you want to do it. Like, just knock it off. Like, don't leave Rev hanging. Send her a message. And so I did that night. And Rev responded, I love you, Sophie. And it's still true. I don't love asking people for money. But when you care about something so deeply, it makes it a lot easier, right? I love ERUUF. ERUUF has been a lifeline to me for a beloved community and living out my values. Last year, I had the opportunity to pilot Wellspring, to share my Spiritual Odyssey presentation, and both provided time for me to articulate my spiritual journey, my values, and even try out some new spiritual practices like blowing bubbles. You should try it. I am so grateful for the depth and spiritual guidance that I received from ERUUF. I also have to mention my kids, Logan and Dylan, one of them's right here, who started in the nursery when they were just a few months old, and now they are 14 and 16 years old. Last year, Logan had the opportunity to go to Boston with the coming of age group, and also form bonds with some of ERUUF's elders, including Virginia and Redford. Now she's a youth intern, and she takes care of babies in the same nursery in which she was nurtured. Dylan is also excited to be a youth intern next year. My kids are actually excited to come to ERUUF. They're teenagers, and how amazing is that they have found beloved community here as well. I invite you to think deeply about how ERUUF has impacted your life. If you're new here or haven't found your people yet, just imagine what it would feel like to be part of this community. When you find such a special place that aligns with your values and form life-lasting friendships, it's easier to be generous. Last year, we were asked to give generously. 15% more, if we could. I listened and thought, yeah, I think we're gonna give 5%. That's pretty good. And sometimes we need our better halves to push us even further. My new wife looked at me and said, babe, there are 2 of us now. We are gonna give 20%. And I said, great, that sounds good. And I have no regrets. Generosity is a way to celebrate this incredible place. While reluctant at first, I am honored to be a pledge co-chair. You are my people. I want to grow old here. I want to leave a legacy for future generations. If we have grandchildren, how cool would it be for them to grow up in the nursery here? Please join me in pledging generously, or ask your spouse to do that part.
Well, I think it's safe to say that I am growing old here. But I find myself not only thinking about the future, but also reflecting on what this place has meant to me and my family. ERUUF has been central to our lives for nearly 30 years. There have been Sundays when I arrived tired or worried, much like this morning, and worship met me exactly where I was. The music, the prayers, the message, these have fed me when I was running on empty. This community has reminded me again and again that I am not alone. And I too have watched it shape my 3 children. Through religious exploration, they learned empathy. They learned to listen deeply. They learned that every person matters. They've grown into awesome adults who care about justice, who ask hard questions, who want to make the world kinder and more equitable. And ERUUF helped form that foundation. Beyond our family, I have seen how this congregation shows up. Our justice ministry is a beacon in this broader community. When something matters, when our neighbors are hurting, when rights are threatened, when love needs a public witness, ERUUF can be counted on. We do not stand on the sidelines. We act, we speak, we show up. As our membership grows, our needs for an expanded budget grows. We are still working toward fair share compensation for our staff. I know you know inflation is real, and so every year we need to increase our pledge just to maintain, and then an additional increment to meet growth. If you're a sustainer like me, which means you give every month, please consider increasing your pledge. I know my family will as well. When we pledge, we are not simply supporting a budget. We are declaring that ERUUF is worth investing in, that this community is worth sustaining, that this congregation will be here, vibrant, present, and welcoming for generations who will walk through these doors long after we are gone. 60 years from now, ERUUFians will be telling the story of this moment, of how we chose not to just maintain what is, but to imagine what can be. I invite you to pledge as an act of gratitude for what you have received and as an act of hope of what we can create together. Mel and I will be out in the gallery after the service with chocolate. Please stop by with any questions, or if you're ready to pledge, we can help you do that. We're excited to be your co-chairs, and we're looking forward to a successful pledge drive this year. Thank you.
Please join me now in the spirit of meditation and prayer. Spirit of life, as we gather this morning, we celebrate the gift of community, a place of refuge and purpose, a fellowship that calls us to action, a place where we radiate love, joy, and a spirit of generosity. We celebrate our core values to engage our ongoing commitment to equity and justice, to remain conscious of our interconnections and our interdependence, our trust in one another as human beings. This fellowship needs our unique contributions, each one of us and all of us, knowing that it is our work shared with each other in covenant that creates and sustains this beloved community. Each week, we also hold on our hearts joys and concerns. This morning, we hold on our hearts David Sokol, who's scheduled for open heart surgery on March 12th at Duke Hospital. We hold on our hearts all those who may feel lost or alone. May they know hope and connection. We hold in our hearts all children everywhere, that they may know care, love, and belonging. We hold in our hearts and pray for the people all the world over facing war and conflict. In these very challenging times, let us remember we are one global family living on the same human-impacted earth. May compassion and peace guide the way forward to healing the heart of the world. Let us also take a moment to hold all the joys, milestones, and successes that lay before us in life. May we continue to celebrate these in our journey together. Let us be the welcome we seek, the caring community we crave, for when we come together centered in love, we can truly transform lives. We lift up all of our prayers and blessings and honor this moment in silence. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
Our meditation hymn this morning is Spirit of Life, hymn number 123 in the gray hymnal, and the lyrics are on the screen. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
So, as you have heard earlier, and will continue to hear in the weeks ahead, 60 years ago, 42 people came together with courage and imagination and signed a charter that gave birth to this congregation. They gathered in a time of national upheaval and said, in effect, we will build a place where progressive values are lived, where people can belong, and where love becomes practice. And while they might not have used those exact words, it is, in effect, what they brought into being. Imperfectly, as Virginia mentioned, and this is just as humans do. And they persisted, and now here we all are. So I am fond of saying that everything that we see and experience here at ERUUF today is the result of the hopes, imaginings, and actions of that initial group of 42. But even more than all that, those founders gave us a profound gift that we can be deeply grateful for today, and it has become our mission. It is the practice of transforming lives by building a free and inclusive covenantal religious community of spirit, service, justice, and love. And they did so in the face of uncertainty during a time of great upheaval. In so doing, they taught us that religious life is not only about a belief in something, a faith in something, but also about practice, an ethic of mutual responsibility, and a commitment to that responsibility that weaves the fabric of love and justice over decades. An ethic that calls us now, as it has always, to answer the question, who will we be together? And today, as beneficiaries of the imagination, commitment, and generosity of those who came before us, how will we now steward the blessings we have inherited so they endure for the next 60 years and hopefully 60 more beyond that? Contemplation of these questions invites us as individuals and as a congregation to look inward and outward with renewed urgency in this, our own time of upheaval and uncertainty. To consider what we have and what we will offer. That this, our pledge drive season, is much more than a season of accounting and raising the funds for next year's operating budget, though that is important, but it is an opportunity to consider our collective generosity not as a one-time transaction, but as a way of life that shapes the heart, the mind, and even the world around us. Generosity defined as the practiced orientation of heart and mind to share one's resources, our time, our attention, our money, our skill, and our presence with others in ways that honor dignity, seek flourishing, and sustain reciprocal belonging. Generosity includes our volunteerism, our informed care for one another, boundary awareness, and a commitment to long-term stewardship. Generous heart, generous mind. These two words, heart and mind, are twin capacities that form a faithful people. The heart moves us to give, and the mind guides us in the practices of giving. When combined, heart and mind have the capacity to form a generosity that is compassionate, that is wise, spirited, ethical, and sustainable. Across almost all spiritual traditions, we learn that generosity begins in the heart. The Christian scriptures hold up the widow who quietly offers 2 small coins. And Jesus points not to the sum of what she offered, but to the action of her offering, that hers was the heartfelt gift of what she had. In Buddhism, generosity is the first of the virtues. The Buddha, when he traveled from village to village, began his teaching by teaching about generosity. That the practice of dana trains us to offer without grasping, to loosen our attachment to the material and to soften our hearts and open to compassion as we turn toward others with a sense of deep care. The Quran names zakat as the 3rd pillar of Islam and a practice of purification, giving that is meant to clear the heart of greed and reconnect us to our shared community. And in Judaism, the Torah instructs giving to the poor and helping those in need with acts of charity is viewed as a moral obligation rather than just a good deed. Indigenous teachings, as Native American botanist Robin Wall Kimmerer writes, begin the practice of generosity with the recognition that the more than human world gives to us first. The soil, the plants, the water, all the elements. And that our ethical response is not ownership, but reciprocity, giving back. A generous heart must also be met by a generous mind. Ethics are not only feelings, but consist of disciplines of discernment. So generosity also requires discernment, knowing when to give, how much, and in what form. Contemporary ethicists insist that generosity must be sustainable, respectful, and attentive to power. Giving without thought can cause harm. Money given where it is unwanted can humiliate. Aid that is not informed by recipients' voices can lead to unhelpful problem solving. Charity that ignores structural causes can treat symptoms rather than the root. The mind of generosity is the mind of stewardship, practical wisdom that asks, what will truly help? How can our resources support dignity and resilience? How can we give in ways that strengthen rather than weaken both our ERUUF community and the communities beyond our walls who we seek to partner with and who sometimes seek to partner with us? And within our living tradition of Unitarian Universalism, not only is generosity one of our core values, but it is inherent in each of our UU values, in our understanding that we are interdependent with all other beings and with our planet. We recognize that we are not isolated individuals, and that to give is to acknowledge our dependence, that we rely on soil and sun, on teachers and caregivers, on neighbors and strangers. Interdependence calls us to give in ways that strengthen the whole, not so we might feel good as individuals or even as a community. Our UU value of equity means that resources should be distributed based on need and context, not simply equally, but fairly. Our giving is not only for ourselves, but we also turn our resources toward those most impacted by injustice. And our value of pluralism asks that each of us give space and voice to others as an act of generosity. Generosity actually flourishes in pluralist communities such as ours because it requires listening, curiosity, and respect for difference. Generous giving allows us to fund ministries that welcome varied spiritual practices and to hold programs that teach cross-cultural empathy or conflict resolution. Generosity in heart and mind ultimately sustains the diversity that strengthens all of us as a community. Generosity, however, without leaning into our value of justice, risks, as I said before, treating symptoms but not structures. Our ethical giving must provide immediate care with systemic engagement. Generosity guided by justice means we support both direct service and transformative work like voter registration and protection, policy, advocacy, and community organizing. And core to our mission here at ERUUF is the value of transformation of hearts, of minds, of lives. Generosity is a primary engine of transformation. Science tells us repeatedly that giving enhances our well-being. But more than happiness, consistent, heart-centered giving shapes our identity as individuals and as a community. Regular giving trains us to be people who see beyond scarcity and toward possibility. We begin to think collectively, prioritize communal practices, and model civic courage, which we do. Programs funded by pledges, religious exploration that teaches empathy, justice initiatives that heal harm, and music and arts that fortify our spirits all change lives and systems. Generosity creates the conditions for sustained transformation. Our faith tradition also frames generosity as an expression of love. Love that is disciplined, practical, and courageous. The writer Bell Hooks said that love is active, a practice of care and responsibility. The love we center as a value in Unitarian Universalism is a commitment to relationships and actions that outlast seasonal sentiment or the latest trend or what do you call those folks online? Influencers. Obviously, I'm not impacted by them. Right. So, yes, so generosity that is a commitment exceeds those things that are not actually lasting. Because when love is the motive, as Mel pointed out, giving is not transactional, it becomes covenantal. And finally, generosity itself is a UU value we revisit anew each year. We practice it not only with our treasure, but also with our hands, with our time, our imagination, our commitment, and all the gifts and talents you all bring that I am very much aware of. So when you get that phone call, when you get that email, no, I've been checking out your gifts and your talents. And so I see you. That's basically what I'm saying. And I may not always get to talk with you, but I see you, each and every one. And I love when you say yes, and I respect when you say no. So the heart motivates us, and the mind discerns. Our pledge campaign is the way we institutionalize these practices so they endure beyond any one person's or two people's energy or a season. Generosity, as our Unitarian Universalists and these other traditions teach, is not merely an action. It is a disposition, a heart trained to notice need, to be moved out of a sense of deep care and responsibility toward others, and to respond not for acclaim or recognition, but out of a sense of kinship. And take note of this, because it's important. The generous heart and generous mind also require healthy boundaries, because generosity that gives or undermines the receiver is not generosity. It is a failure of stewardship. This is practical wisdom offered as a mindful, ethical intelligence aimed at, because what we really want is flourishing for everyone. And that's why when you give me your no, I appreciate that. I want you to flourish and assume that you just don't have the bandwidth for it right now. And sometimes I don't have bandwidth either. So I respect that, and it's a healthy boundary. You know, some of you may not know this, but back in the day, back in my UU day, I was a director of membership for some of our congregations locally. I was the director of welcoming ministries in Chapel Hill. And one day, the director of RE came to me and said, our children are getting ready to complete the Coming of Age program, which is a year-long program that our youth go through. And in their bylaws of that congregation, if you were 13 years old, you were eligible to become a member. And she said to me, I would love if you could offer membership as an opportunity for our children, our youth. And, you know, we worked very carefully. I felt this was really important that we do this in the right way, because it's easy for young people to do something because their friend is doing it, or I didn't want them to feel pressured. But the other thing that came up is in their bylaws, they had a requirement that members give. They make a financial gift We don't have that in our bylaws, but they had that in their bylaws. And so the question was, how do we have a reasonable financial pledge from these young people who wanted to do that? And so we came up with a number that seemed reasonable, because the other thing that we wanted is that it had to be a pledge from the youth, not from their parents. And we made it very clear to the parents, because we spoke to them about the fact that we were doing this, and that we did not want the children to make a pledge and then the parent fulfill the pledge. It was the youth's pledge, and it was important that they understood this. So we came up with a number that was doable for all the youth. And those who became members, every single one of them pledged, and every single one of them honored their pledge that year. In every tradition, we hear a similar truth, that life is not a solitary ledger, and that we belong to one another. I think those youth realized through their relationships, the closeness that they formed as youth, that they belonged to one another. They got it. And many of them, as with some of our children here, grew up in their congregation, so they got it. Generosity is the practice that remembers this sort of belonging. It makes us, in small and large acts, through small and large acts, more humane, more holy, and more mindful. We rise today on the dreams, the work, and generosity of those who came before us. And we are called now to form that next generation. So may your heart be generous, and may your mind be wise. May our pledges be an offering not merely of our resources, but of ourselves, so that this community continues as a place where giving shapes who we are, and where our collective life witnesses the truth that we belong to one another. Let us make it so, my friends. Amen, ashe, and blessed be. I see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to do that anymore. So as some of you, I'm sure as all of you have guessed, we gathered today in a season of asking. When our congregation, both members and friends, because we encourage you who are our friends as well, can look inward and look outward, measuring what we have and what we will offer. And this is not a season of mere accounting. It is a season of naming who we are together and who we are becoming. So you might notice, or you can take note of this card that is now in your pew rack. And it is a new pledge card for our 2026-2027 year. Your pledge funds our operating budget. As I told the members of our Inquirers class today, we build a budget based on pledges. We don't just come up with a budget. And our budget, current budget, is $1.2 million. And we did it last year, we can do it this year, so it is definitely achievable. So today I ask you to make a pledge not just to fund a budget, but to shore up a future of mutual care, of programs that teach generosity of heart and mind, of being in partnership with those who need our company, our support, our advocacy, of defending democracy and stewarding the earth for generations to come. And if money is tight right now, which is real, give what you can and give witness. Teach others, invite friends, and hold space. Know that generosity blossoms when it is shared. So if you are looking at that card, you can point your device to this QR code on the pledge side, and it'll lead you to the portal where you can pledge, or you can increase your sustainer pledge if that's what you choose to do. And if you cannot pledge today, know that any gift you offer this community is accepted with our great gratitude. We give our thanks and our gratitude for all the gifts of beloved community. Take it away, Wendy.
Please rise in body or spirit. Join us in singing Building a New Way, hymn 1017 in the teal hymnal.
Stronger every
You were dancing right there. Awesome, awesome. Loving it. Our closing words are by Howard Zinn, who says, "The future is an infinite succession of presents, and to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory." Let us make it so, my friends. Go in love, go in peace, go with courage, go knowing that you are not alone. Amen, ashe, and blessed be.
you.